Hello, this is weird. It doesn't feel like a Friday, it feels more like a Monday. Well, let me explain to you all then why I'm doing a film review on a Monday instead of a Friday. So, as Halloween draws closer to the end of the month and stuff and towards the end of October, I thought what better way than to celebrate that by doing a whole week's worth of Halloween themed monster movie horror movie reviews. So instead of like a film review Friday, we'll call this week a weekly watch of films. I don't know what we're going to call it yet. I'll think of a name throughout the rest of the week. But anyway, first thing to get out of the way is the quality of the camera. It's now on my laptop because I've had to stop doing it on my phone, as most of you will already know that my phone is broken and stuff, and that's why I've stopped doing it on my phone. However, I've got my laptop now, so if the quality isn't as great as it usually would be, it's because it's on my laptop. However, I personally think this is a lot better than what the tablet had. Anyway, that's not what we're on about today. What we're on about today is the movie side of things. So over the course of the next week, like I've said, we're going to be going through a whole list of different horror movies and horror characters, from zombies to dolls to aliens to a whole other genre of movie villains. And we might even stretch it out to 2 weeks, I don't know, we'll see how this goes. But for the first time, for this Monday movie review, we are going to be going over Killer Robots. And what's the number one sort of horror action movie you can think of that features a killer robot? Terminator. That's right, today I went to see Terminator Dark Fate. This movie is honestly, like the critics say, the best sequel since T2. Because as most of you all know, T2 is by far the best Terminator movie. Nobody really disagrees with that. There are a couple that think the original is the best, and in some places I do agree, but the majority of the population of the world will agree that T2 over T1 is the better movie. However, that being said, since T2 came out, there have just been a list of other Terminator movies which have flopped, going from Terminator 3 all the way through to Genesis, which was a complete box office bomb. It sucked, and that might be due to the fact of the marketing for that film and all sorts of things went wrong with it. However, Terminator Dark Fate is a fantastic movie of just showing that even though some movies come out in this genre which screw it up and mess it up, it can still find a way to get itself back on its two own feet and actually work out how to fix its genre. And that's what Terminator Dark Fate does. It fixes the genre by, I don't know, there's a lot of things that work in it. For example, the fact that they've got 3 different sort of heroines from the entire genre. You've got Sarah O'Connor, you've got Arnie in there playing his Terminator, you've got this new type of hybrid machine woman called Kate, and she's quite an important character in it. And overall, it's just, I feel, a really good Terminator movie, especially considering what came out before it. And I think partially due to the fact that Tim Miller was directing it and James Cameron came back as the producer for this one as well, as he produced T2 and the original. And that's why I think it works so well, because they have the original sort of directors and producers, and that's where they've been falling in the last couple movies. So, yeah, like I say, there are elements that are in this movie that make it fantastic to watch. It is brilliant to watch. However, it does have its faults. I'll give it that. It does have its faults. It's got some moments where you're just questioning it and you're like, why has he done that, or why has she done that? And there are moments where it tries to be funny where it's really not. However, it is a fantastic movie. I definitely advise, if you're into the Terminator genre, you go watch it, because even though you might have been let down by the past few movies, this one, believe me, it will reignite your flame for the Terminator movies, because this one, T2 and the original, are spectacular to watch. And I think the biggest thing I loved about this is the subtle callbacks, or the callbacks it makes to the previous movies. For example, you've got the classic line it always puts in there, "I'll be back," which Sarah Connor says. However, a funny thing that Arnie does in this is he puts a twist on it, and instead of going, "I'll be back," instead of him saying, "I'll be back," he goes, "But this time I won't be back," which could hint at the fact that he's given up his most iconic character, which I do think is a bit upsetting, but he has been playing the character for a while, so I think it could be hinting at the fact that he's giving up his role as the Terminator in favour of someone else. Although I don't really see anybody else playing the Terminator apart from Arnie, because he's been doing it for that many years, and it's just his sort of character. So yeah, above all else, above all my ramblings about the Terminator genres and movies and going all into that, I think we should just get onto the ratings for this movie, because honestly, I think it's going to shock you. So, considering what it's done for the genre and how it's managed to actually reignite the Terminator series and bring it back on its own 2 feet, I think it's got to earn marks for that. It's got to also earn marks for the visuals in it, because don't get me wrong, the visuals in it are brilliant. And then, of course, you've got to remember the callbacks it makes to the previous movies. For example, the truck chase in T2 is like reimagined or sort of redone in this one. And above all else, it's just a really good movie to watch. It's just really fun to watch. So I think above all else, this movie is going to get a 8 out of 10, because even though it's got its faults here or there, like for example, it tries to be funny where it's really not, and it's sort of like it stumbles at points, it doesn't do it all the while, so therefore it's getting an 8 out of 10, because it's really fun to watch. That's basically what I'm going to say about this movie. It's just, yeah, it's a fun watch that calls back a lot of the originals, and yeah, I think that's all we've got to say for Terminator Dark Fate today. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this first of a week-long event of movie reviews. But until then, I've been Connor. This has been my movie review Monday for Terminator Dark Fate. I will see you all tomorrow with, which genre are we going to pick next? Let's go with zombies. I'll be back tomorrow with the zombie movie review. But until then, I've been Connor. This has been the Halloween movie review Monday. I will see you all tomorrow.